First Covenant Foundation is proud to present the Rainbow Covenant with Dr. Michael Dallen. We'll explore the Noahide movement and its connection to Israel and the Jewish people. For information, online, rainbowcovenant.org, firstcovenant.com, or call 1-313-891-1920. Hey, Michael, how are you this morning?
Great, Zelda. Good morning.
Nice to have you with us. Is it raining in Detroit as it is here? It's pouring here.
No, we're going to send you some sunny weather.
Oh, good for you. Okay, we have warmer weather. Okay, I said today that it was going to be your thing, so you were going to talk about whatever you thought would be, beneficial to our audience. Both
I
around
thought your audience in Toronto and elsewhere would be interested in the story of our mayor, Kwame Kilpatrick.
Oh, okay.
Who's a scandalous mayor, and how Torah applies to an aspect of this. One of the things we were saying before was that we here in North America, and I think particularly in the United States, have an enormous amount of freedom to speak out that our brethren elsewhere in the world, in Europe where they're afraid of violence, in Israel where the government will shut you down if they think that you are out of line if you speak against the current administration. I have a friend who was just sentenced for instigating, and they'll say that if you want what Mike Huckabee, the presidential candidate, wanted to move the people who despise Israel, hate Israel, would destroy Israel to a state of their own, like in Saudi Arabia, you will be arrested. You will be prosecuted.
Well, they're not arresting anybody. Like they're not arresting anybody in the Detroit area for all the Nazi affiliated things and all the other stuff that they're starting up.
We have freedom of speech here, including freedom of speech for Nazis and for Arabs. But this is the most. This city has the highest concentration of Muslims and Arabs in all of North America, and I speak, thank God, at least so far so good. And a lot of that probably has to do with our, we all like and own guns, and we tend to respect each other, and that's part of the freedom of speech here that I think even in Canada you don't have that, but in Canada too, we have tremendous power to speak out, and
of course
it's enough that somebody has to do this. Our people here, our rabbis will come on your show and elsewhere, and they'll give lectures on how you should light the candles on Hanukkah or Shabbos from the left or the right, and leave the big issues up to our brethren elsewhere who cannot speak about the big issues. So I think it's up to us. It's a privilege and a responsibility of ours to do that. And here we have Kwame, okay? And we have an aspect of Torah that is always fascinated people and that people normally get wrong. But we have here an aspect of the culture of Ham. People normally would pronounce that ham. But we know from, I'm a specialist in the Noahide law. Our website is all about the Noahide law. And it begins with Genesis 9, and we have Noah, our legendary common ancestor, cursing Canaan, or Canaan, they pronounce it sometimes incorrectly, his son, his grandson. But the curse really goes to Ham, because Ham has already been blessed, and he can't curse him again. But this is a curse intended for all the descendants of Ham. What does Ham mean? In Hebrew, Ham means hot. And he says to them that they will be slaves of slaves, servants of servants. And racists over the years have said, well, that's black folks. So they wouldn't let black people into the Mormon church because they're cursed, they're slaves of slaves. That's not how this works. We're all descendants of Ham and the other two sons of Noah. The human race is one family, but some cultures choose the aspects of one or the other of the families. What we have here in America right now is a vast culture that has chosen the culture of Ham. They're not all black, they're not all white, but it is associated with black people. And so in Detroit, you have a city dominated by the culture of Ham, hot, 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 slaves of slaves. What's a slave of slave? I learned this from our associate, Jack Saunders. You know, we're Noachides, we're a rabbi, we're Jewish, we're all Torah people. And Jack Saunders, whom you've had on your show, is teaching from Rashi and elsewhere that slave of slaves, servant of servants means that somebody is a servant, a slave of his passions, of his instincts, of his animal drives. And the culture of Ham sanctifies those, it makes those animal drives his bosses.
Okay. I'd like to get into this even more because I know where you're going with. Can people read about this in your book, on the website until we meet again?
We have a newsletter, a big newsletter, just coming out. It should be out in an hour or two. Okay. So people can get on the website. They can read more about what's going on and what's going on where you are. Kwame. And that's the mayor of Detroit, right? Right. Okay, well, I didn't know who you meant when you said that because I didn't really know. I'm writing about Kwame from all over the world now. Okay, well, then we're going to get on the website, we're going to read it, and then we're going to speak to you in a couple of weeks. But Hag Sameach, by the way, Michael Dallen. And you. Have a great Passover. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye. The Rainbow Covenant with Dr. Michael Dallen has been made possible by First Covenant Foundation. Online, rainbowcovenant.org. firstcovenant.com or call 1-313-891-1920.